Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Koopalings! Welcome to this week's episode of the Nintendo Shack podcast. I am joined here with Garret. Elena's out again this week, but I know she misses being here very, very much, and she wanted to let you know that she will be back next week. But we have a little bit to talk about this week. Not really a whole lot of news, but we have some interesting things that are coming up that we will dive into, specifically the Pokemon Presents that will be taking place this weekend. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we've been up to, what we've been playing. I know that this has been a pretty stressful week for a lot of people for various reasons. I hope that maybe we can take a little bit of time to put all of that out of our mind. You know, if you're listening today, tonight, while we're recording live, if you're listening to this podcast over the weekend, try to take some time and, chill out, turn off everything, that's on the news and everything that you're worried about, whether you're stressed about the world, whether you're stressed about work. Put it all aside, take care of yourself.
Stressed about everything, just stressed about life in general.
I think we all need to practice a lot of, self-care in times like this. And I know it can be hard to do that, but we can't forget to do it. It's important to do to keep ourselves healthy, mentally. It's important. Hopefully you've been finding time to do that, Garret. I know I have been working a lot and worrying a lot, so I'm going to hopefully find some time to do that tonight, as we're chatting and, the next couple of days over the weekend. What have you been up to? What have you been playing?
Oh, well, I actually wrapped up the Triangle Strategy demo. I wrapped that up over the weekend. And it's super fun, guys. Like that game. I feel like, well, it's not a lot of gameplay, even though it gives you a lot. So they basically go over 3 chapters of the game, and they'll be able to transfer over to the full game. Basically, I think it's like about 30-40% gameplay, and the rest is decisions, rest is story, rest is I don't know, like building your characters or whatever. There's a lot of dialogue in here, a lot of lore going on. They make this world very fleshed out. It is very similar to any kind of like Japanese trope that you could think of, more medieval, more classical type of storyline. But I'm really enjoying it. The writing's great. The characters I'm into. And then there's like it kind of breaks down into like certain chapters. So you kind of go like in the first chapter. It's a whole scene. It's all in that beautiful 2D HDR. There's like nothing like scenes or whatever. It's all in that 2D HD kind of mindset. And I love
that
the
style.
Right. And then you can like rotate it all around once you're like going free around the map or whatever. So it looks fantastic. And they actually do a very good job of like camera control and like eliminating like obstacles that would like hide your character or whatnot.
Do you find yourself rotating it around to look at everything like that?
Sometimes there are certain levels where it's kind of like a free area, and you kind of have to talk to like different characters in this area to like get more information out of like the certain kind of like clans or teams or nations or whatever that's going around. But yeah, it's sometimes I have to use that, sometimes I don't. And during gameplay, I really don't. I only fix it at like one angle, and I just, because if I go in a different angle with that game, it's just like it messes up your mind. At least for me. Okay, gameplay. It is. I don't know if you've ever even delved into it, but it's Final Fantasy Tactics gameplay. Like,
oh, okay,
no joke. Actually, it's pretty different than your typical turn-based tactics game, where Fire Emblem and like a lot of other games, it's a lot of characters going first, and then the enemy goes next, and it's all of your characters going back and forth. Not in this. The turn order is very different. It goes back and forth, and it depends on the speed of the character, and that actually changes a lot of like your strategy behind it, because you don't want to be too far forward because there might be one or two characters. You got to really look at the turn order base. It has like a gauge at the bottom of like when like a character moves or whatever. Turn-based tactics, right? So it's tile-based. There's magic, there's melee, all that good stuff. The gameplay doesn't seem that hard to me though. It's pretty doable.
I don't know why I imagine this to be more like Octopath Traveler, but it really only seems so in style. It doesn't seem like the gameplay is the same.
Gameplay in Octopath Traveler is like Final Fantasy, like classic Final Fantasy. And this is like Final Fantasy Tactics, where
Got it.
elevation is a huge component to it as well, where there's some tiles that are like above, and then certain characters that have range attacks can have advantages on certain heights. There's magic, there's ice and fire magic, and that actually obscures the landscape and the environment. Sometimes you can burn down homes with the fire magic. You can
oh my goodness.
you could shoot ice. It's a lot of obstruction, actually. You shoot ice, and it can be ice tiles, and that actually weakens or lowers your character stats in a certain area. Then you can add in like fire on top of that ice. It will melt into water. And then you can use electric magic to like have an area effect on that certain region as well. So there's a lot of magic strategy going on there.
So this is basically going to be your game of the year.
Kind of basically, right? I'm getting very excited because not only the gameplay is pretty stellar, but the story's pretty good, but also the decisions you have to make. So basically,
I like that part.
Yes. So your decisions have a huge impact into your personality and also just where you're going to go. In the third chapter, you have 2 distinct routes to go to the next really big area. And I'm sure you circumvent and go to the other area later or whatever, but you have to convince your group or your posse to go one way or the other. And you actually, in previous levels, you gather information from other characters to persuade your gang to go one way or the other. So I'm a person that loves to talk to all the side characters, like every single one of them. So I had full advantage of like convincing some people to go to like this certain region. So it is a huge reward of interacting with the characters, their personality, and your decisions as well.
How long did you put into the demo?
I think 5 hours. I think it was around there. But
did you
I don't know how.
End of the demo?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So end of the demo, and yeah, I was right. Like you don't go to the other area that you decide you didn't choose.
Gotcha.
You may go there later. I'm just locked behind chapter 3 right now. Man, oh man, it's so good though. I don't know if I actually don't think I'll get this day one, just because I got a lot of stuff to go through. I got Pokemon Legends I'm still playing. I got Shin Megami Tensei 5, and I got at least another 2 or 3 games in like my short list on my Switch that I'm like, I really want to play those. And I know I would love to play Triangle Strategy right now. It's just timing. It's just I can't really do it right now. I love playing the demo. I'm glad I'm where I'm at. It's just I don't think I will get it day one.
Do you think the demo maybe held you over a little bit so that you can finish some other stuff and then dive into it when
pretty much ready? I was like, at the end of that demo I was like, I get this game and I can't wait to get this and get into it. It's just there's so many other games that I already have that I want to finish. So
yeah, that's fair. Especially since you know you're going to put a lot of time into this when you do get it.
Right, exactly. So that leads me to my next game. I've been playing Pokemon Legends. It's been pretty good so far. I haven't played too much. I'm in the 3rd area now, the Cobalt Coastlands.
Okay.
I got my boy Routes. Routes is like Gardevoir is like one of my favorite Pokemon. So I'm super glad I got it. I got that one. I am very close to evolving my starter Pokemon. I forgot the owl one. I forgot the
Rowlet.
Yeah, Rowlet. Yeah.
Mhm.
Almost to the third evolution on that one.
Okay.
This is probably the funnest Pokemon game I've played in a long time.
Yeah,
Like,
I felt
in
that
a
way.
very in a very long time.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I know we've talked a lot about Pokemon Legends, so I won't talk about too much more.
Mhm.
Then I've been finishing up Guardians of the Galaxy on Xbox. There's a cloud version on Switch. I don't recommend getting it. To be quite honest with you, I played the demo. It's not good at all. But dang, Guardians of the Galaxy is super fun, Rebecca. It's actually like up top. If I would have played this last year, it would have been like maybe top 3 list because it's
Ooh.
so good. It's a very Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know. Have you watched that movie? Like,
No.
no. Okay. Well, they really get into those characters. They're very funny.
I
They're
bet.
hilarious.
Yeah, I heard this was a fun one.
Yeah, I feel like it's on the same level as South Park level funny. Like I'm just laughing out loud every time they get into this kind of rambling in conversations or whatever. So yeah, that's been pretty much what I've been doing. What about you, Rebecca? What are you doing?
Yeah, I won't go on too much more about Pokemon either. I finally wrapped up my review for that. That's out. That's published
Cool.
now. If you want to read
Nice.
my extended thoughts, anything that I didn't say, on the podcast the past couple of weeks. But otherwise, over the weekend, I delved into a few retro games that I have been wanting to
Nice.
play for a while. I started with Donkey Kong Country 3. I played the first 2 Donkey Kong Country games, and then I knew I wanted to play 3 for a while, and then it was my friend Kevin's birthday, and that's his favorite game of all time. Shout out, Kevin. And so I decided to play the first few levels of that game.
Cool.
I think I got past the first area, a little bit into the second area. I can't remember how far I got. I think maybe I got to the second boss. I can't remember, but it's really fun. The music is good.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's as good as the first 2 games, so far. I think all 3 of them are pretty comparable.
Yes.
It's just more of the same goodness from the first 2 games, because I feel like I thought that way for the first 2. Very good music, very good controls, very inspired levels. It's tough. I am using my rewind and save states and whatnot, but I don't feel like it's too punishing either. Like it's not too long into the level before you get to your little save, your little halfway checkpoint.
Right.
So that if you die, you can start there again. We were making fun of, what was his name? Kitty Kong, the big
Right.
baby one.
Yeah, he acts like a baby, and he's just
I forgot
huge.
that he was from that game. So that surprised me. I'm not a huge fan of him. All the other characters seem to have pretty cool abilities. Like I really like Dixie Kong because she can hover, and I like that because I'm not good at platforming. So I like playing as her a little bit better. I like playing as the different animals that they let you play as, like the elephant, Ellie the elephant, and
Ellie the elephant's really
like
cool.
the parrot. I forget the parrot's name, but it's fun to play as those. I like those. And then I noticed in some of the levels, like you can totally miss that and just not get the chance to play as it. Like there's one level where I was
weird,
playing,
isn't it?
and I got to the end, and it's like no spiders allowed, and it's like, oh, I guess I could have been a spider this whole time, and I just like never found that.
You can definitely miss some animals in there, which is interesting. I think there's like multiple paths in that level, and if you don't really like hit one part or like the spider or whatever, you can definitely mess that up. It's interesting on Donkey Kong Country 3's map. It's freeform. You don't go like line to line on the mini map.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Physically go to the next level, which tripped me up as a kid.
Well, yeah, right off the bat, like it kind of lets you loose, and I realized, oh my god, I can go in the water and I can swim to like the next area. It was pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know if I'll go back to that one right away. It's not really high up on the priority list, but it is something. It is one of those good Super Nintendo games that I would like to beat someday. So now that I've started it sooner rather than later. But the other thing that I started is one that is a little bit more of a priority for me. I started Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Talk about tough games. I want to there's only a few more Zelda games, main series Zelda games that I have not beat. I would like to beat them all, hopefully by the end of this year, and Zelda 2 is one of them. And my history with this game is my first experience with it was on the Zelda Collector's Edition for the GameCube. That was one of the games that was included in that. And so that was the first time that I ever played it. And I was a kid and I didn't really know what I was doing. It was so different from, all the other Zelda games. And I'm like, okay, like what the heck? Like, what is this leveling up? What do you experience? Not in my Zelda game. And I, as you can imagine, didn't get very far. And then I grew up and I heard about how hard it is and I kept putting it off. And now I think it's finally time, in all of the Zelda games that I have to finish, this is definitely going to be the biggest hurdle. So I'm starting with this one. And I definitely like it so far. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, like as far as like what it is. I will say it's brutally difficult though. Like even using rewind, there were a couple parts that I had to try multiple times, mostly because the hitboxes are a little garbage. I'm not really a fan of some of the hitboxes and like how little like wiggle room you have for it. And I think that might be, just a function of that era. Because I think back to other NES games and how brutally difficult they were due to hitboxes and stuff, and like how it's sometimes literally like a pixel difference. So I'm definitely going to have some practicing to do. I don't really feel ashamed for using rewind and save state because I don't have the time to master it. And, I don't have the time that I would have if I had grown up with this as a kid. And I would like to experience this game and I would like to reach the credits. And I know that I would be spending a very, 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 very long time on it and I wouldn't be able to get to other games. So that's how I'm choosing to play it. But
I watched some of your stream and let me tell you, this game, you look at it as like if you played other Zelda games other than Zelda 2, even Zelda 1, and you look at this game, it's like this isn't Zelda. Like
it doesn't look like it.
And it's like this is like the redheaded stepchild rip-off Zelda from another country. Like it looks so different because you got
it really is, and there's not items the same way. Like it's
Yeah, you got the 2D like front facing, right? And you're going left and right. And it's like, no, that's not my Zelda. So it's very interesting to see. And it's funny, I think Nintendo knew when they released Zelda 2 out here. And they're like, oh, that's a step in like the weird direction. Let's go back. Let's go back the other way. And
I think they were still exploring what they wanted Zelda to be, and then they got their feet wet in this, and they realized, this isn't good for Zelda. There are some things that are pretty, not so intuitive about it that I also didn't like. And it's not just so much as it being cryptic, but like talking to a person and then immediately going into the house to meet somebody. It's like, how would you know to do that? How would you know to like go there? Like the dialogue just doesn't really explain it at all. It's not even like it gives you a vague hint. There's some things where it's like, you need to go find, this item. It's like, okay, like you didn't even give me a clue. And then it's on one tile in the grass on like a screen that's like six screens away. Like, how would you know to do that? And I get like back then that it was, you relied on the manuals a lot more and you relied on the word of mouth a lot more. But as far as aging, that is definitely not aged gracefully. But
let me tell you, they had a lot of time back then.
Yeah.
They're like, what to do about this? I know what to do with this game. I'm gonna go through every single tile in this one
basically
level. No, I'm
that's
sure
all you had, because you would only get a game like every couple months back then. Like it's not like it was here today. That's how game design was. They had to make it that way. But I mean, other than those things, like I am enjoying it. Like I know it's going to get even a lot harder than what I've experienced. I've only gotten through one dungeon so far, and I think I'm on my way to the second one. But I need some help with it, but I'm not ashamed. I'm finally experiencing it, and then after that, it's going to be smooth sailing because it's only top-down Zeldas after that.
Only top-down Zeldas. There you go.
And that's what I like the best.
All right, Rebecca, I have a question, and I think Elaine needs to
Yes.
be here to answer this too. When are we playing Golden Sun? That's
We
the
should.
real question.
I know. Well, you were talking about how busy you are with all these
Yeah.
games in your backlog, and
Okay. I can put a classic game to the side though and be like, I'm
That's
going
true.
through. I'm gonna hedge on this. Like I was talking to Ryan at RPG Cave last week, and we're like, we need to start the Golden Sun sometime this year. Maybe like summer sometime.
summer I think would be good. I'll
Would
have
be
a
a
lot
good
more
one, yeah.
time, being off from
Mhm.
work, and we can dive into it then. Yeah, that sounds good.
Just
The summer of
sounds
Golden
good.
Sun.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean that's what I've been up to. I've been doing a lot of planning also the past
Okay.
week, 2-3 weeks, because on Saturday, if you're listening to this at the end of February, today's the 24th. Saturday, I am having my big 1-year Twitch partner anniversary stream. It has been
Yay.
1 year on the 26th.
Wow.
I can't believe that it's been a year already. And so
Mhm.
what I did through the month of February was I said, okay, like for every one subscription that I get on my Twitch channel, I will do 1 minute of streaming on the anniversary day. And
Oh.
turns out now I have 11 hours worth of a stream to do. So I've never
Wait,
done a
wait,
stream
hold
that
on.
long before.
Hold on. 1 minute. You said 1 minute per sub,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh,
You can do the math.
I'm doing the math in my head. That's a lot of
That's
subs.
a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of subs. And so
That's
I originally
awesome.
made different goals. Like if we get this many subs, we'll do Mario
Mhm.
Kart. If we do this many subs, we'll
Wow.
get trivia. And like I think I had capped the goals at like 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours tops, like not even
Right.
knowing if we would get to that. Yeah, and they like doubled that. So
That's insane, guys. Well,
I've
that's so
never
awesome.
streamed for 11 hours before, but if you are listening and you don't have anything to do on Saturday, come on over to my Twitch channel. We are doing Mario Kart. We're doing video game music trivia. I'm playing a bunch of games. We're doing game giveaways. I'm going to be in cosplay the whole time. We're doing a lot of fun stuff.
Wow.
So come
That's
join me.
awesome.
Come keep me company. You have the whole day to come stop by. You will not miss it.
I'll definitely stop by for sure. See how you
Sounds
are on
good.
the 11th hour.
There you go. I'm going to be so tired. I'm starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, so I'm going
Oh,
all the
wow.
way pretty much to midnight.
Dang.
So it's gonna be a good time. It'll be fun.
I bet it's gonna be fun. I've done these,
I'm gonna
I've
need
done
lots of coffee.
need coffee, and then like I've done the extra life stuff, and I think I broke down once that was 1 12 hour. All you just really need to do is like take your breaks. Like
Yeah, I
take your
gotta
breaks
take my
when you
stretch
need to.
breaks. I'm gonna eat food. I'm gonna take care of myself. It's gonna be good.
Have a drink water, emote or
Yes.
whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. So come on by this weekend. But yeah, let's get into this week in Nintendo. We got a announcement that there's going to be a Pokemon Presents presentation on February 27th, which is Sunday. You might think, well, that's an unusual day for a Pokemon Presents. Well, not really. It's
Mhm.
Pokemon Day. They usually celebrate by doing something every year. They said it's going to be 14 minutes in length, which I looked back at the other Pokemon Presents, and that's about average. They've had some really
Okay.
short ones, like 6, 7, 8 minutes, and they've had some longer ones, in the low 20 minutes. So I think that's right somewhere in the middle. I saw a little bit of discourse online about, well, what's the difference between a Pokemon Presents and a Pokemon Direct? Because we have had both. And a Pokemon Direct is usually more centered on a main series game, like 1, maybe 2 main series games. Pokemon Presents was created to encompass more things. So it is not only like their console or main series games, it also includes their spin-offs, their mobile games, other things like that. So we should keep that in mind when going in with our expectations. Another thing to keep in mind with going in with the expectations is that they just had a week-long celebrating Pokemon Presents. It's still going on, where they were featuring a different game each day. And it encompassed a lot of their thankfully kind of their smaller games. They had a day for the Cafe Remix. They had a day for what's that other mobile game? The Masters X.
Yeah,
They
Masters
had a
X.
day for Sword and Shield.
Cool.
They had
Unite.
a day, I think, a day for Unite, for Pokemon Go, like a lot of their mobile games and Sword and Shield for some reason. So I think it's probably safe to say that those games won't really get much, if any, attention during this 14 minutes on Sunday. We have a lot of questions here that people wrote in to ask us, and I think it might be easy to just jump into those and then we can give other thoughts.
Good. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Okay. So Kyle the Pug starts us off. He wants to know, what piece of major news would you be most excited for when the Pokemon Present Direct airs on Sunday? It's a pretty pretty broad general question here.
Right. I think it's gonna be there's got to be some type of, it's either new game or there's gonna be Pokemon video game related. My hunch is, with the elimination of the 3DS and the Wii U store, they're gonna have to replace it somehow, and we all know how much Pokemon loves subscription-based models. I think they're gonna do a separate Pokemon app that has all the Pokemon Classic games. It will be a subscription service, I think.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you were going to say that they were going to put all of the classic games, or whatever classic games that they want to put on as separate purchases, which I could see them doing, having them do it separately. But then before you said that, my rebuttal, I was like kind of already thinking of a rebuttal to that in my head before you finished what you were saying, that they might not want to do that while the eShops are still up, because I think they want people, like I'm kind of considering going back and getting Crystal for the 3DS. Like they want to, I think, milk that as long as they can. But then you said subscription service, which I feel like is different, because we might buy into the subscription service, but also still might want to own it on 3DS or Wii U or whatever, wherever they are.
Right. I think I don't think they're gonna sell it individually. I think at this point they have such a breadth of Pokemon games. Not like I'm not sure about 3DS and DS right now. When I say that, because the Switch, I don't really see a DS game or a 3DS port like ever really with the Switch. So that's one holding me back. I don't think there won't be a DS or 3DS type of games.
So do you think it will go up to, I guess really then it would be Gen 1, right? The Gen 1 games.
Gen 1, yeah.
Gen 2, Gold, Silver, Crystal, right? Gen 3, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, do you think?
Emerald, and then Fire Red, Leaf Green.
Fire Red, Leaf Green.
Some of those can be over
time.
Do
you think they put on Diamond and Pearl and Platinum because we have the Switch games?
I don't think so. I think they'll stop.
I don't think so either.
And then I think there's so many different side games along with that too. I'm not just talking about mainline game. And honestly, we're talking about all of these. I don't think they're gonna go all hit at once. I think they're gonna come in waves too.
Yeah, like the Nintendo Switch Online. Maybe they trickled it in. What if? Hear me out. Expansion pack members, subscribers. Get this as part of their subscription.
That would be pretty good.
I know that's a little tough because it's the Pokemon Company. It's not Nintendo. Maybe they strike a deal.
Oh yeah, no, that's totally. I mean, like they're in bed together. Like they sell on Nintendo platforms. I could totally see a Nintendo like Switch Online plus expansion pack perk be like, hey, you get this service too, or you can pay that separately and not have Nintendo Switch
because maybe people who don't care about the expansion pack but still want the Pokemon subscription. Yeah, I
it's possible. That. I just think the Pokemon brand is very valuable. Yeah. And I can also see it totally not being on Nintendo Switch.
If they did this, what price is put on it?
It depends on. I feel like the initial loadout here. I can see. Honestly, I can see $5 a month. I can.
Yeah.
I can see as high as. I I don't know if they can do $10 a month. I don't think they can really do that. But $5 is probably a safe guess.
Yeah. And
Especially
even
if you
that
want to
feels a
pop
bit
in.
high considering that
Mhm.
aren't the games like $8 on 3DS each?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
like
somewhere around there.
after a couple months, you would be spending more than, and I know like the only thing I think with this is like unless they have a lot to add, like you said with the side games, they would have to be adding enough over time that people
Mhm.
would want to subscribe for more than like a month or two, because
Right.
these Pokemon games, like you play them and you get through them, and then it's like, what's the reason to keep subscribing,
That's true. So I can also see, yeah, these are not eternal games, for sure. I can also see them be like, hey, you want to sub to this, you can do it. And you can do it monthly if you want. If you want to pop in your head and play a classic game, or you can own it. And this is kind of the
Mm-hmm.
blank price. But that eliminates the reason of subscription, right? If we go that route. So it's a little tricky. I just
Yeah.
think there's got to be an avenue for these classic Pokemon
I
games.
hope so, because you're
You
right.
know,
Like, I feel like it took them so long to even put them on Virtual Console. Like, those came pretty late, I think,
yeah.
in terms of the 3DS Virtual Console lifespan. I remember thinking, like, wow, that's a big deal that they're actually making legacy Pokemon content. Like, that was kind
Hmm.
of a first for them at the time.
Hmm.
So, now that they've done it and they are feeling a little bit more comfortable with it, I would love to see something like that come to the Switch.
Hmm.
I love me some old school Pokemon. I
Yeah.
like that idea. I think I have an unpopular opinion. I think, Garrett, I think we talked about this, and I think you would
Yeah.
like this too. I would be most excited for a Gen 9 reveal, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
As far as like realistic major news, I would love to see Let's Go Johto come out later this year. I think
I think it's
as
totally
far as like the
plausible. Yeah.
most possible things, um, that's what I want the most. I think what's going to happen is we're going to get Pokemon Legends DLC.
I think
I
yeah,
would
that's
buy
totally gonna
that.
be in.
I will buy it if it comes, because I'm having, I know I'll have fun with that. Um, but I really want to go back to Gen 2. I think it
Me
has
too.
been a minute since I've been to Johto, and it's arguably my favorite region. And I really liked the Let's Go, style of games. I think that there is a nice little niche for Let's Go. Like, there's the Let's Go series, there's the main series, and then there's like the remakes. And I would not
Hmm.
mind if they just shuffled through those, every time.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Um,
I could totally see that.
yeah,
I would be totally down for Let's Go too. I'm fine with Let's Go series. It's not my preferred way. I just wish there was some sort of like classic mode of some kind.
yeah.
Whereas like I like this style, but instead of just wild Pokemon, I have to catch with it. Can I just battle like I do with the gems? Like
Yeah, that would be
that's a
nice. That would be nice. Yeah, I agree with
no.
that for sure. I agree with that, but I think that Let's Go Pikachu Eevee was a better Gen 1 remake than
Hmm.
Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl was a remake to Diamond and Pearl.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I would rather them do that to Johto
Hmm.
than what Brilliant Diamond did to
Yeah.
Sinnoh.
You know what I also see is a side game, some side Pokemon game that can come out this
That's
year again.
true. That's
We can get
true.
a
And you know what?
po-
Let me
yeah.
let me that's kind of related to G-Man's question. So let me kind of go out
Okay,
of
cool.
order here and ask his question. He wants to know, what's a dream Pokemon game that you would love to see? He says, for me, it's Pokemon Pinball, since that's a series that should come back. What's yours? So I know he's not only specifically talking about side games here, but I think this might be a good
Mhm.
opportunity to talk about those.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have a
Pokemon
dream side
Pinball's
game?
awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
I will
I think
absolutely love that on the
I think we're
GBA.
due for one, to be
Yeah,
honest. Like,
that would,
I wouldn't be
I,
surprised.
I would pay money for that. But I would really enjoy. I don't know if you've heard of this one, Pokemon Conquest. Ever heard of that? DS game, that weird side game that no one talks about. Give me a Pokemon Quest 2, Conquest 2. I would be so down with that. I know, of course, another tactics RPG, but
You don't have
Pokemon
enough of
Unite
those in your
Japan,
life.
right? But no, I would totally down with that, and I can totally see they'll have to outsource that to some other studio, but
Yeah. Who
yeah,
made the
Pokemon
first
Power
one?
now. I would have to check back. It's
Okay.
either Bandai or Capcom. I forgot. Let me
Hmm.
actually. I could check real quick here.
Honestly, G-Man, my dream Pokemon side game
Koei
already
Tecmo.
Oh, Koei Tecmo. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Mine already happened. I never thought that I would actually see another Pokemon Snap game, so that happened. My wish came true already. I feel like
Your wish came true.
I feel like I can't really beg for too much more because that was my dream game for 20 years and it finally happened. I have never really been a big Pokemon side game person. There's
Okay.
very few that I've played, which is kind of odd for me because I'm a big Pokemon fan that complains about main series a lot. So you would think that I would like them more. I think it would be really cool to get another Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, I don't know if Stadium would. Oh, actually, maybe Stadium could come back. I'm thinking, man, what if they? Well, I don't think they would do it this year, but what if they really throw it in the loop and give us like a Pokemon Coliseum? Like,
Mm.
give us another weird story about dark Pokemon and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really heavy in the lore for sure.
What if I just maybe what I was thinking about Stadium, they just put out Majora's Mask on the N64
Yeah.
service on Switch. Usually they announce the next one that's coming right after. What if they say that Stadium is coming to? I actually would not mind if Stadium came to
Oh, that'd be cool.
the online service because I like the
Hmm.
original. I have never played the second one. Stick them
Hmm.
both on there. I think those are ones that were not confirmed yet, so it'd be cool to get a confirmation of them.
Yeah, I would think the first one. I think they would announce that. I've played the second one. I love the second one.
Oh, I've only
And the
played the
mini
first
games.
one. The
The
mini
mini
games were
games in
the
the second
best part. Yes. Honestly, I
like
played
so
more
much
of that
better.
than the actual game.
Yeah, me too. There was one Pokemon Stadium 2 game where you had a pincer and there was logs coming down, and based off of the gravity, you have to like time it perfectly to cut at the white line. I played that like hours on end, just
Yes,
seeing when it drops. It's like, all right, when is it gonna cut? And then yeah, it's just very addictive. So if
it really
man,
is.
I would go
Kyle in
back to
chat
that.
brings up a good idea. Transfer the Pokemon that you have in the Pokemon Home app to a new Stadium game, like you had the transfer
Yeah.
pack. So I remember doing that. I took the transfer pack and I used Pokemon Blue, and I put the Pokemon that I had in my Game Boy game into Stadium to battle with them.
Oh,
So
that's
he
so
he
cool.
brings up a good point that you can use Home maybe as that transfer tool to see your Pokemon in action on Stadium. Would be cool.
That would be interesting. And actually, I actually stopped my subscription to Pokemon Home because I just don't touch it
Ooh.
at all. I don't. I'm like the Pokemon's
I don't
there.
either.
I know.
That's a good
I
point.
know it's safe. So yeah, having an incentive to use Pokemon Home in some sense other than your mainline games,
Yeah.
oh, I think that would be pretty handy for Pokemon Company to
Put
do.
some mini games in there. Yeah, some kind of incentive. You're right.
Mhm.
Man, you're right. My subscription just renewed. I don't ever open that app. I only use it to keep my living decks alive. I
Right.
think that probably a good bet is that they will add on Sunday, they'll add the Pokemon Home connectivity to Diamond, Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl because that doesn't exist
Mhm.
yet. So I think they'll
Oh,
add
okay.
that functionality to it. They'll probably just give a little
Mhm.
shout about that.
Ryan in the
Um,
chat said also
mhm,
Pokemon Puzzle League 2. That's a good
mm,
shout out. But I
mhm.
also believe Pokemon Ranger because that
There's a
series is
lot
kind
of
of
Pokemon
popular.
side games. Wow.
Yeah, I really enjoyed those on the DS. And I can totally see that with the Nintendo Joy Cons, where you're just pointing and then you're just wrapping the screen around, or with the gyroscope on the Switch itself and just going around
Right.
like certain Pokemon. I can totally see that being another game that they can come out.
I think we're all in agreement that we need a Hey You Pikachu too.
Well, let's not go there. Let's we got to stop at
You
some
don't
point,
agree
right?
with me?
Well, I don't know. I never touched it, so
Good. You're better off.
Detective Pikachu 3 or whatever. Isn't there a sequel to
There's supposed to
Detective
be a Pokemon Detective 2.
Yeah.
They announced
Okay.
that in 2019, and we don't have any. We haven't had any updates on it. Apparently, it's still in development. We haven't had any updates on that Pokemon Sleep mobile game. Apparently, Joe Merrick swears
gosh.
that's still in development. He says that there's evidence that it's still a thing. I don't know.
Lots of Pokemon things, lots of different things to explore. So we'll see what happens.
We had two people write in, West 3DP and Elias Thompson, ask, what do you want to see from Pokemon Legends Arceus DLC? They suggested new Pokemon, a new explorable area, new mechanics, more story. I think it's pretty likely that they're going to announce DLC. I wouldn't be surprised if they modeled it after. I think there's rumors about this too, but I was kind of thinking that it would make a little bit of sense for them to model it the same way that they did for Sword and Shield, that DLC expansion pack, because in that DLC they kind of made two new wild areas. And I think that I can see them adding like two new regions, like two new areas for us to explore in Hisui, in waves. Like maybe the first wave we get one new expansion, we get a whole group of new Pokemon, maybe a smaller side story. I think that there's some room with the characters there for some more side stories. Maybe one of those comes out in June, and then another one comes out later in the year, just like the Sword and Shield DLC.
That's totally believable. I agree with that. I want them to get a little wacky with the Pokemon regions. Like DLC, when I see a lot of DLC in games, it's like all hands on deck. Like you can do whatever you want. Be as creative as you want, because it's gonna be just that optional end piece at the end there. So yeah, I'm curious what Pokemon Legends Arceus DLC will be. I'm still going through the game, so I can't really say much more what I want, because I haven't really explored all the options there. But yeah, I can totally see just more areas, possibly a small side story or something like that.
Yeah, and I think, like Sword and Shield, I think it would be an opportunity for them to add more Pokemon. I know that it was a little bit limited in this game. They were really focusing on like the Sinnoh Pokemon plus some others. It would be cool if they added some more regional forms. I think it's cool to catch more Pokemon, but I already have all of these in my living decks. I would love to see new forms. I think that the new forms that they added in Legends Arceus have all been really good. Almost all of them. And I like to see that creativity. I think that they give a little bit of life to Pokemon that you wouldn't normally use. I find myself doing that. Like, who used Ursa Ring in Gold and Silver? Like, hardly anybody. And it's getting a little bit of love here. Things like that. So I think that's pretty
Sounds
cool.
good. Yeah.
Kevin wants to know, and I think he was thinking ahead to a potential Gen 9 for this, but he wants to know in general, what kind of animal or object do you want to see as a new Pokemon?
What haven't we touched?
You would be surprised. I am floored that there hasn't been a dolphin Pokemon yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. There hasn't been
I also would love to see a hummingbird Pokemon.
A hummingbird Pokemon would be great. Yeah,
I love
for sure.
hummingbirds. Yeah.
That's some good animals. Sorry, I didn't think about this too much. I was thinking more like industrial electronic stuff. I'm thinking like a computer or a laptop. I'm wondering
that would be cool.
That would be cute.
Kind of like the Rotom decks in Sun and Moon is kind of like that.
Right.
I know that's not like a Pokemon you can catch, but
Yeah, they've gone all around with Pokemon now. I don't know how much more Pokemon I can take with
There's no
Gen 9.
peacock Pokemon.
There's no peacock Pokemon. Okay. See, you've been thinking about this. Like, it's like, okay, what other they can do? Me, I'm just like, I'm content. I'm content with like the first 3 gens, really.
I
After
remember I
that, I kind of
really
forget.
wanted a red panda Pokemon, and then they came out with Stuffle.
Right. Yeah. I remember that. And then what was that other panda one? Well, it's not red panda. It was just regular panda.
Pancham and
Pancham. Yeah.
Pangoro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super dope. Um,
Yeah. What else?
sorry guys, I don't have anything.
They have hit a
It could be
lot.
more
They've had
food
a lot of
related.
animals. I'm not like so big on the object Pokemon, and I feel like
Oh,
that's
really?
probably a popular opinion. I know a lot of people complain about the key ring. Who's the key ring Pokemon?
Or
Klefki? Is that its name?
Clefling or yeah, something like that. And then you got the snow
I'm
cone
not a
and
fan of the ice
Pokemon.
cream cones.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I like my Pokemon generally to be animals on 4 legs.
I see. I can see a takoyaki, some Japanese snacks going on.
That's
You never heard of takoyaki?
food? Well,
Yeah, just food.
I
Yeah,
guess there
food
are
related
lots of food
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
I
There's
think I'm
Applin.
hungry, and that's what I'm thinking of more and more food.
That would be good. That would be good.
But yeah, sorry. Animals, I'm kind of done with. They've done everything with
Becker
this.
says flamingo. Ooh, there's no
Flamingo.
flamingo Pokemon.
See, they need to explore the birds. The problem is there's so
Yeah.
many bird Pokemon, and they only like repeat like the same type of bird.
Hmm.
Like the normal what is the first bird Pokemon you get? It just looks
Pidgey.
so
Yeah, I
generic.
really liked they have been changing that up lately. Like in Sword and
Mhm.
Shield, they had the big raven, the crow, Corviknight,
Right.
who I loved. That was a good one. And then in Sun and Moon, they had the toucan. So I like it when they do that. I don't
Toucan,
like when
yes,
it's a generic bird.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Dorky Charmander says goats and polar bears. We have Go-Goat, who is the coolest goat, and Polar Bear. What's the polar bear's name? Bear
Oh,
Arctic?
I forgot, but he had like teeth,
Cubchoo?
icicles or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
I
The
remember that.
beard. The beard was icicles.
Beard. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, there's a lot already.
Oh,
Do we have a
gosh.
platypus?
We have, oh goodness. Yes, I think we do actually.
Do we?
I remember looking at it as like that's a platypus type Pokemon. Hold on. I'm
I
just
don't
looking up.
know. I'm
No,
trying to
never
think.
mind.
No?
No, never mind. We don't.
They should
There's a
do
lot
that.
of good there's a lot of good made up ones, so
Really?
like
What are you
this
seeing?
guy I'm seeing this fake platypus that they put in what they call like a rip-off Pokemon game, Solar Light
Is it
Lunar
the blue
Dark.
one?
Yeah, it's a blue one.
That
It
actually
looks
has a good story. Somebody made that as like it was going to be like a fake leak, and like people knew it was fake. I think like right away,
mhm.
but people
It looks
fell in
good.
love with that platypus design as like the water starter because I think it was part of like a starter design. And I think there was a fan game. I forget which one it was, but the developers of that one decided to take him on as an artist, and they added that platypus into their fan. It's like not a fan game, but it's like a Pokemon, like one of those clone games.
Solar Light Lunar Dark. That's the one I
Is
see
that
right
what
now.
it is? Oh, was it a fan game? Okay, maybe I've got it a little
Yeah.
wrong. Well, close enough.
Oh no, that's a different one. I see the one that you're talking about though. Platel and Monostream, and
Oh, okay. I didn't know their names.
looks adorable.
Nindy
Oh
said
my
it was Temtem. You remember Temtem?
Temtem. I don't know Temtem.
That got pretty
What-
popular for a couple of months.
Oh really?
It was like the big Pokemon clone one summer on PC.
Oh, there's so many good
Yeah.
ones.
People want to know, is Psyduck a
Temtem. Oh,
platypus? Psyduck. He's a duck. It's in the
it's a
name.
duck. Yeah, it's
Right?
in the name. That's clearly a
Yeah,
duck.
because he his tail is more like a duck than a platypus is like a long flat tail, doesn't it?
Yeah, I never liked Psyduck. Every time I see them, I'm just like, no, I'm good.
But yeah, I
Oh.
think there's some good ones yet.
Good question, though.
Yeah, I like that one. I'll try to think of some more later. And then Brolin wants to know, why does Pokemon always make me play as a child? For once, could I not be forced to play as a 13-year-old character? Why do you think this is? And is there any hope for my future avatar to break into puberty? Well, Brolin, to enlighten you, in Pokemon Legends Arceus, your character is 15 years old. So you're not a child. You're a full-fledged teenager.
Wait, what's the age for teen? Well, teenager is, I guess, past what, 13, right?
Teen, right? Makes sense.
Okay. I'm well, 16 could represent teenager as well. I don't know. It gets hairy over there.
I think, 16, 13, 14, 15, they're all your teen years.
They're all
until you're 19.
So 13 and 15, they're both teenagers.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Well,
I think though he's thinking like adult, that it's not like an adolescent, that it's not a child or a teenager. I think he's thinking like 15, when can I play as an adult?
You're with the cool kids in high school, basically. Yeah.
I think, Brolin, this isn't limited to Pokemon. I think a lot of games have you playing as at least a teenager, if not a child, I think, because I don't know, isn't video games like being about like something that you're not? And I think that like at least with Pokemon, like it's that magic, like that childlike magic of this big magical world. Like I don't know.
They're focused on kids. That's the thing with Pokemon. So you're gonna be a kid as an avatar to relate. I think it's more like
I think especially because there's a kid audience.
It's a kid too. Exactly. It's just that relationship with that age too. I don't know, like when I was going through Pokemon Blue and Red and Yellow, I was really not thinking that was a kid.
Me neither, honestly. And I still don't really even like, I think that because it's a silent protagonist, like what's the most that your character does? Like they nod or like they shake their head or something. Like I think it's very easy to imagine them being any age that you want. Like, no, you can't give your character a beard or, anything like that. But like, I don't know. I think that like it's, if you imagine your character like in their young 20s, I think that you can do that and like the story still makes sense. Like I don't really think anything changes.
Yeah, pretty much. And like you look at the save file of Pokemon, the classic Pokemon games, you see your trainer, and that looks more young adult like than anything. It doesn't look like a kid to me.
Yeah, I don't think they do either.
When you're facing Golden, like Red and Gold and Silver, he looks legendary. He looks older. He looks mature. So I guess for the classic games, I think they tend to want to go. I mean, like for shows and everything, for sure, it's dedicated to kids, and they go to the games and everything. But I agree with them now. Like currently, it's more of that avatar is more of a kid-like nature. It's in between the ages of 12 and 15. And Brolin, it's just like that's the focus of the audience. You see Yokai Watch, you see Yu-Gi-Oh, you see Bakugan, you see all of these different other Japanese type of studios. Of course, they're gonna focus on kids. They're gonna be kids. If you want to play an adult, play Shin Megami Tensei 5. That's all I have to. Well, that's even high school too. You're not even an adult.
That's not limited to Pokemon. I feel like a lot of these games do this. Like, I don't know. Even like in The Legend of Zelda, like you're playing a 16, 17-year-old in those games. Like Link is not an adult. I don't know. I still like, I don't know, when I'm playing these kind of games, like especially Pokemon still, like I'm not imagining it to be a 13-year-old. Like you don't let your 13-year-old, go leave town on his own to go by himself to catch these monsters and like go fight adults in battles. Like, I don't know. I think it's easy for me to imagine that the character is my age. Because there's not really a lot of in-game reference to you being a kid. Like sometimes they'll call you a kid, but like, I don't know. I don't picture it that way.
Right. I find it hilarious that Ash doesn't age at all,
No,
too.
he doesn't.
Everyone else ages, but he does not age. And I'm just like, what show is this? It's so weird.
Do you think
But
they'll ever do in the shows? And I don't watch the show, so maybe they've done this. I don't know. I don't know if you saw or heard that the show Arthur just ended after like 25 years. So
wait,
yeah,
when it went
Arthur's
on?
over. It's over. They ended. They had the last
Oh, okay.
episode. And in the last
It was
episode, they said, okay, 25 years in the future, here's what their lives look like, is kind of the closure to the show.
yeah.
And they showed all of them as adults and like what jobs they're doing and things like that. Like they have DW became a cop, Buster ended up like being a teacher and things like that. So it might be kind of cool if they did that with the Pokemon and like did like a flash forward, like here's Ash when he's like old, when he's an adult or old or something.
Right.
Oh, spoilers! Get out of here with chat with the spoilers. You don't care that I just spoiled Arthur for you. Come on.
I honestly didn't know it was still going on. I thought that was just a
I know
90s
it went
thing.
on for 25 years and they ended it.
That's crazy. Yeah,
I know.
no, I would love to see more adult like Pokemon type of things.
Yeah, it would be cool
For sure. Yeah. That's crazy.
Any other Pokemon Presents predictions? It's only going to be 14 minutes. Keep your expectations, in check here. I think that like it would be cool to see a Gen 9 teaser reveal. Don't expect it.
Yeah. I would honestly expect 10 minutes or 12 minutes of Pokemon Sleep and then maybe a teaser at the end. And there you go. That's the Pokemon presentation.
My last like little prediction here, just to sum up, I think that the bulk of it will be Legends Arceus DLC. I think they'll touch on Sleep, maybe. I think they'll throw in like a random eShop only title that something new that we didn't ask for, like a cafe mix type thing. And then maybe they'll just mention home connectivity to Diamond and Pearl.
Pray for classic Pokemon games. Just pray
that would be
Pokemon
cool.
classic
I would like that.
I would love it on my Switch.
Moving on. Nintendo joins the acquisitions club. We heard about Microsoft buying all these studios left and right. We talked about Sony joining the fight. Nintendo has joined the battle here, and they acquired a new studio. Oh. They acquired SRD, Systems Research and Development. If you've never heard of this, you're not the only one. In fact, this is a studio that I thought they already owned. They've been helping Nintendo forever, since 1983. They've worked on dozens of games. They worked on Zelda, Mario, the original Donkey Kong, dozens of games from then to present day. Even their Kyoto office is inside the Nintendo Development Center. It's like, why wasn't this already a thing?
I know.
I don't know. I think it's one. Remember, we were saying like that these are the kind of ones that make sense for them to do. Like they're able to provide more resources. They're able to kind of take them under their wing a little bit more. There's nothing surprising about this.
Nothing surprising
except
about this
that it didn't happen 20 years ago.
When I saw that and I'm like, I've never heard of this company. I'm like, wait, System Research and Development, that's it's not a first party studio? Like you kind of like freak out. So it's just like they've been there since the beginning, since the genesis of Nintendo games, and they have never been acquired. I think here's the thing. I think the only reason why Nintendo is acquiring now versus before, I don't think there was any benefit before.
Right.
But now the market and the inflation rate going on right now, I don't know. I'm not an expert in Japan economics, but they don't really do mergers. They don't. Oh well, they did at a certain time, but they don't do a lot of acquisitions like Nintendo. But now they're gonna lose money unless they put their money to somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so this is a good get, and I hope they get the other studios that kind of make sense along that
Right.
route as well. You just look at it as like, why aren't you not owned by Nintendo
I
right
know. Well,
now?
this is very Nintendo. I would rather see them do things like this, like these things that make sense. Like
Hmm.
this company is used to working with them. They can make them even better, I think. It's nothing out of left field. And I like that about Nintendo. I feel like they're out of left field for things that they produce and, give to
Hmm.
the consumers, but they're very traditional otherwise when it comes to like internal types of things like this. And I like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess Nintendo likes to run a tight ship, and I think the partners understand. Like when they work with them and develop with these games, I bet the companies are like, "Oh, we're good. We got
Hmm.
Nintendo." Like it doesn't
Yeah.
now. There's just something on paper with this one versus
It's
not
a
having something.
formality
Yeah.
probably so that
Yeah.
they can have more options.
Hmm. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I
So.
maybe we'll see more of that. Who knows? It was announced that the Min Min amiibo will have a release. It has a release date finally, April
Cool.
29th. This is part of the Super Smash Bros. Line,
Hmm.
the DLC line that they have been slowly releasing. The Steve and Alex amiibo were supposed to be released this spring as well, alongside Min Min, but they got delayed to later in the
Hmm.
year. They didn't give a specific time, but they said later in 2022. I think they cited production difficulties. We talked
Hmm.
about this, how things are very slow production. That's why this Min Min amiibo is so late. That's why this Alex and Steve and Alex ones are so late. It takes time now
Yeah.
because of what the world is like right now.
Yeah.
Hobie wants to know, what Nintendo game or character do you wish would have gotten an amiibo or set of amiibo?
Um, that's a good question. Right now, I'm trying to think what amiibos I would get. I have very limited amount of amiibos right now, just because I moved and I had to put a lot of stuff to the side
Hmm.
here. I don't know if I would get really anything day one. But maybe no, I would probably get a refresh of Donkey Kong amiibos.
Mm,
That would be pretty nice. Like if they had a game coming out this year alongside with some give me Diddy Kong. I mean, they
hmm.
already have Diddy Kong amiibo though,
They
right?
have
Like the
him for
Smash ones
Smash, right?
for
Yeah.
sure.
Are there
But
any other characters?
you got Cranky Kong, you got Dixie Kong, you
Yeah.
got Funky
Yeah.
Kong. Oh man, a Funky Kong amiibo, that would be
They should
dope.
have done that with Tropical Freeze when they added the
Yeah.
funky mode. They should have done an amiibo of that. That would have been cool.
Funky Kong on a surfboard. I'm
Yeah.
totally down with that. Yeah, for sure. I think they need it.
Yes. The only amiibo so I have a variety of amiibo, but the only ones that I'm like serious about collecting are all of the Zelda ones. And I am so freaking annoyed at how many links there are. I've talked about this before. I'm so annoyed. When Link's Awakening for Switch came out, they had a really cute little toy Link amiibo. I thought it was very cute. But
Mhm.
like, come on, they could have given us a Marin amiibo. That would have been just as cute. It would have been cool. It would have been different. Just saying. When Skyward Sword came out, we did get a Zelda and Loftwing one, which is different than another Link. That one was beautiful. I liked it a lot. But that's the only Skyward Sword amiibo that we got. I thought it would have been cool if we had also gotten characters like Fee and Girahim. Give me a
Mhm.
Groose amiibo. Like, those would be cool too. And then I always really wanted a Skull Kid amiibo because I love Skull Kid. I always wanted Skull Kid for Smash. If he had been a
Right.
Smash DLC character, we would have gotten an amiibo. He's my favorite Zelda villain, but I think that ship has sailed.
What about Mino
Um,
the Hollower? The new one coming out.
ooh, because
What
we
if
got a
it came
Shovel Knight
alongside with the
amiibo,
Mino?
right?
We did get a Shovel Knight amiibo and
I
a
would
gold
get a
one
Mina the
too.
Hollower amiibo.
Yeah, I would too. That's a cute little thing. That is super
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Good question, Obik. I will buy any Zelda amiibo. I think they'll probably still like. I know they really aren't making a whole lot more amiibo now, but I wonder if we'll get a new set for Breath of the Wild 2 because we got
Mhm.
an entire set for Breath of the Wild 1. We got like 3 Links and a Zelda and you know, a,
Mhm.
all the champions and stuff. So maybe we'll get like short-haired Zelda. Maybe we'll get Link in that cool like ancient kind of
Yeah,
outfit
I
that
don't know
he's
what's
wearing.
going on with that. Yeah, he has
Yeah.
some. Doesn't his arm
It's like
have like a
tribal.
different? Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
different
something
thing.
with his arm.
Not this year. I'm sorry. It's just not gonna be this year. At
Yeah,
least I think so.
I'm having big doubts about that. But if you want to get your fill of Zelda elsewhere, you'll be happy to know that Majora's Mask is now available to download on Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. I did see that they cleaned up Ocarina of Time. They did that twice. They did before, and now the fog is all correct now, and it's
Good.
all like how purists enjoy it.
Interesting. So
I
it's
know
good
people had
now.
problems with
Hopefully,
that.
Majora's Mask is okay too. I don't know.
I don't know.
I gotta go
I
back
think
to the
it's
3DS one.
the inferior
I do.
version of Majora's Mask, but I think that if you have not played it, it is worth playing. Don't let the time thing
Yeah,
scare you. I know that
the
sets off
time
a lot
loop
of
kind of
people.
scares people. Yeah.
It's not
Um.
as bad as people make it out to be. People are like, I don't
Mhm,
want to like go through the same cycle over and over. It's not that
mhm.
bad. The dungeons are awesome. The side quests are the best in the game, in the series.
Nice.
Um, you haven't played it yet.
I played like the first. I don't
Right, you
know.
played a little bit of it.
I was actually almost done with the first day. Like I was at a
Okay.
certain point where I needed to be. Like at the end of the evening, I'm like, okay, I'm here.
Link does
And then
flips and stuff.
I don't know what's gonna happen after that. So I gotta turn it back on and figure
Yeah.
out what I'm doing in there. I actually may pull out a guide just to make sure I'm doing what I need to
Yeah.
like.
I
I don't want
would
to waste
not
the
blame
day.
people for using a guide for this game, especially some of the side quests are quite cryptic. It's very trial and error type things, and there's very little wiggle room in some of the side quests because it's all in that 3-day cycle where like some things only happen at like nighttime on the second day. So if you don't know those things,
Interesting.
then you have to cycle
You're
through
gonna
it
have to wait
again.
or
Yeah.
like
And there
do
are
other
ways to
stuff.
like speed it up and stuff. Like, there's a
Mhm.
way that you can kind of skip ahead to the third day if you missed something and want to go back quickly. But like, you can use a guide if you really want to. Nobody's going to judge you.
Sounds good. I played Outer Wilds, which is also a time loop type of game, and I just adored that game to
Mm-hmm.
death. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure I would like Majora's Mask, and I can't wait to finish it.
It
And
also has
yeah,
one of the best ending sequences, in my opinion, of almost any Zelda game. Like
mhm.
the very, not just the final boss. You know me, I love the Skull Kid. Just like the lead up to that. And like I can't explain that more without
Okay,
spoilers. And I know you haven't played it, and there's a lot of people here who haven't played it, but like it's not a terribly long game.
okay, I'll
Go
check
for
it
it.
out. I'll
Yeah.
put on my short list along with my other short list that on Switch. That's my short list of Golden Sun and there's a lot of short lists
That short list is
everywhere.
growing.
It's growing to a medium list, I think.
Oh
I'll try it
boy.
out for
Oh,
sure.
well, that's the news. I know there wasn't a whole lot here, but we got some good discussion in about it. And we only have one more question left to answer. It comes from Yarden. He wants to know our most wanted HD 2D title. I think that seems to be the trend now for remakes,
Mhm.
especially. I know that we're seeing that in new games. We saw Octopath, we saw Triangle, but we're seeing a lot in the remakes too. They what was the was it
Live Alive.
Dragon Age
Dragon Quest 3?
Quest? I get them so confused.
Oh,
Dragon.
Dragon Age and Dragon Quest are very different
I
things.
know. I knew I was
Oh
gonna
my
get it
god.
wrong. Dragon Quest
Yeah.
looks nice. Final Fantasy Pixel remake is is that HD 2D
No.
style?
No,
No, it
no,
look
no, no. It's
no.
just a cleanup of the pixels, 2D
Oh,
pixels
okay. What was
art.
the other
It's
one
not
then? There's another remake
Live
that's coming
Alive.
out. Well, yeah, that one. Okay, okay.
Okay. You got
I
Live
thought there was
Alive, you
another one.
got and then Dragon Quest 3 HD. Those were the
Okay,
2
maybe I thought there was another one.
announced. Yeah.
I like this trend. I have lamented the fact that I would never see a new sprite-based game of like things
Mhm.
like Zelda and Pokemon. And while this isn't exactly that, it's pretty damn close. And these games are really, really beautiful. And I hope that this trend sticks around. I hope that there's more demand for it. Give me, I mean, while I think Chrono Trigger is perfect the way that it is, this would look so beautiful in HD 2D. And I think that's like the way to do a remake for it if they're going to go that way. Like, that's the way to do it. I would love that.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Just because I'm thinking of other games like Pokemon. I don't think Pokemon would be the best route to go, even though it would be kind of cool to see.
Mhm.
You still go into those 2D battles, and it kind of breaks away that type of 3D
Yeah.
mentality. So no, Chrono Trigger is like with just you're getting in, you're approaching enemies, and then you have that kind of positioning, like you have depth with that. That would be so cool. And then also
Mhm.
like the different elevations in certain areas, like
Yeah.
ladders, and
Mhm.
it could be really brought out on a 3D detail, for sure. Yeah.
Ryan Turfer brings up 2D HD Zelda 2. I feel like that's like a tongue twister.
Ryan, you don't want to punish us, okay?
But like maybe they could clean it up and maybe they could make it so it's not unbearable, because I do think there is a lot of,
Okay.
redeeming qualities about that game. Maybe that would be the
Okay.
way to fix it.
Yeah. Sounds good. Remake Zelda 2.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
I would love to see, like, this wouldn't happen, but an original 2D HD 2D, whatever you call it, Zelda game.
Yes.
Give me something. I don't even need it to be a remake. People are like, oh, like Minish Cap, things like that. But like, I know that doesn't have like the RPG-ness, which you don't have to. It doesn't have to be like an
No,
RPG.
it doesn't.
But
I
I
actually
want
prefer more
another.
action oriented with this
Yeah,
because I think it brings it
yeah,
out a little bit more.
yeah.
A Link to the Past, that would be a slam dunk for me.
That would
Like
be
if you
cool.
do
And
an
again,
HD
like
2D of
Chrono
that.
Trigger, I don't think it needs it, but it would be cool. It would be very cool.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Ryan says Zelda 2 is my favorite Zelda game. I did not realize that. I'm sorry to when I saw when I
Maybe
saw
he
you
can
stream
help me
that.
because I'm big struggling. I'm
Okay.
playing it now,
Cool.
Ryan. Okay, well, that is our news. That is our show.
Pretty
We
much.
will next week be covering whatever is announced during this Pokemon Presents. Maybe we'll have some other stuff to talk about as well. And
That would be
Elaine will be
great.
back, so 3
Yes.
cheers for that. We miss her. I know that she has been working very, very hard. She has some work projects, and she deserves to rest after all of that. So
And chill
we
with
will
us.
be, yeah, we'll be back next week. And like I said, guys, put down the news. Take some time for some self-care this weekend. Do something to treat yourself kindly, because I think we're all needing that right now. So
Yeah,
don't
it's a
forget
little
to do
tense
that.
out there, guys. And just look out there, support your Ukrainian gamers and the game developers. There's a lot of
Mhm.
game developers over there they're struggling right now. So just like, I know this War of Mine. That's a game that's all the proceeds are going to the Ukrainian Red Cross right now. So go
Oh,
ahead and
okay.
support humanitarian. I think it's on Switch too. So just check it out. This War of Mine, I played it. It's a really good game.
Hmm.
It's like in like you play that game. It's I mean it's depressing. It's
Is it really
not a
heavy?
yeah. It's really heavy on the depressing side. So just be ready with that mindset
My
when you
kind of
want to get
game.
into that game. Well, there you go. But yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next week.
That is our show. Take care, everybody.
Bye bye.